We're going to relax and we're going to welcome a really extraordinary person. Put your hands together for Ria.
A traditional red bindi, delicately placed in the centre of the forehead, in between the eyebrows, representing intuition, wisdom, and mindfulness in Indian culture. Next slide, please. A little girl I know used to wear a bindi when she danced, and she loved wearing it because it just made her feel complete. The power of small magic gave her this extra special boost of confidence as she twirled across stages around the world. She loved school too, but was scared to wear it there because of the racism that she got when asked to perform for the Diwali celebrations. And she still faces racism to this day. How do I know? Well, that little girl grew up to be me, an artist and cultural entrepreneur with Indian classical dance as my background. Now, navigating my bicultural identity often leaves me feeling stuck between two worlds because some of the Indian community don't agree with my career choices. Obviously, because I'm not a doctor, dentist, lawyer, I'm not an accountant, and I'm definitely not in finance. But in December 2024, I was awarded with an honorary Doctor of Arts. But no, it's still not good enough because I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not in a field that's respected enough. And then I'm stereotyped or neatly placed into a box by the white community for some of my creative and cultural work. And then, when I last went to India, a group of boys at a cultural event believed me to be a white girl, going over to their country, wearing their authentic clothing and stealing their culture. Well, little did they know that I am Indian and actually understood every single word that they said in the Gujarati language. It's safe to say I very politely gave them a piece of my mind and immediately they stopped laughing at me. So, where do I go to belong? I know from my journey how my identity has changed, depending upon 4 factors. So number 1, experiences, good or bad, and if I've let that negative experience go, or if it's still attached to me, my identity, and the person that I am today. And I'll let you all into a little secret. I'm not very good at letting things go. So I have to transform and translate that energy into something positive and productive, and it must be associated with work in order for me to bring my heart a little bit of peace. Number 2, it's dependent upon where I am in the world. Number 3, it's who I'm surrounded by. And number 4, what I consume. And when I say consume, I don't necessarily mean the television or books or social media, but also energy. What energy am I allowing into my personal space? And I'd like to ask you all a question. Have you ever felt alienated or excluded? Are you out of the loop at work or even a stranger at your own table? Please do raise your hands if you've ever experienced this feeling of other. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you for participating. So looking around the audience, I would say approximately 80 to 90% of people had their hands up. Now, this is really important because it showcases to us that we've all been through or are going through something, and how those experiences have or are shaping us to who we are today, and as a result, how we then see the world. And hopefully, the rest of my talk will inspire you as to what I do to flip the script, so to speak, and navigate through these challenges. But being born and brought up in Manchester with one parent from India and one parent from Africa has always left me feeling confused and out of place, but especially with my work. And because I never really felt as though I fitted in, I didn't want anyone else to feel that way. So I took this identity confusion and feeling of other and began fusing two cultural worlds together, Indian and Western, within the creation of my projects. So, for example, an Indian-inspired children's touring theatre production, but always having Manchester as the base, and a female protagonist who absolutely loves a chippy with a load of vinegar. Because ultimately, I'm a little Mancunian born and bred, and that's something that I'm so proud of. But I'm also proud of the fact that I love a good chippy with a load of vinegar too. So this confusion that I felt sparked the creation of spellbinding storytelling, giving me a platform to seek higher things. So the confusion that I felt sparked the creation of spellbinding storytelling, giving me a platform to seek higher things, all while doing three things. Number one, shattering South Asian career stereotypes with this non-medical doctor here. Number two, redefining representation of what an Indian woman's career should look like. And number three, dismantling social and cultural barriers by creating inclusive and accessible work. So the confusion that I felt sparked the creation and the power of small magic. Now, Indian classical dance has the transferable principles of dedication, discipline, creativity, and collaboration. This is exactly how I've expanded my portfolio career. And it's through dance in particular that I aim to achieve togetherness, where everyone belongs and everyone's included, even if it's just for a minute, regardless of background, age, culture, identity, heritage, experience, or anything else. And this would not be a talk from Ria Meera Munshi if I didn't incorporate a little Indian dance workshop with you all. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I promise it's really easy. I'd love you all to partake. I'm going to put my little clicker down. And it's here, so we don't lose it again. And so just be aware of the space around you. You're going to stay seated. Have your hands out. First finger and second finger on your thumbs. Brilliant. Now the right hand is going to go out to the right corner. Be careful of who's next to you. Center and left. Lovely. Center. You're all leaning as well. Wow. So 1 and 2. Lovely. 3 and 4. Now to get to this hand gesture, I'm going to teach you. Have your palms facing the ceiling. Brilliant. Now bring in the baby finger first. So the little finger comes in first and we stretch them. Now this is called a labudma, but nobody remembers this, so we're going to call it an open flower. And this is Ria stamp number 1 in Ria's dance classes, the open flower. The second Ria stamp is a clap, easy. And when you clap, I want you to say hoi. Hoi with a H. Hoi, yes, okay, perfect. So we're going to go like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, go 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4 and a hoi. Hoi, 3, 3, 2, 1, again, go 1 and a 2. Move your head if you want to. 1, hoi, louder, and a 1, and a 2, and a hoi, hoi, louder last time, and a here, and a loud. Woohoo! Give yourselves a big round of applause. Thank you for participating. It's always so lovely just to break up a talk with movement and energy and dance. And I'm very grateful to you all for trying something new. So thank you very much. Back to the talk. Got my clicker. So the red bindi, which I spoke about before, is a metaphor. A metaphor for self-belief and the power of small magic, which has really helped me to navigate through this identity confusion. And it's given me the courage to create innovative projects leading to my multi-award-winning career. It's been the hidden gem of superpower and the secret force behind my success. But most importantly, it connects me back to myself, my childhood, culture, heritage, dance, my inner self, and my inner child. That little mirror inside who still needs me now. It keeps me grounded in a world which most definitely makes sure all of us are flying high with busyness and distractions. And the most beautiful thing? It reminds me of my nanny. Growing up, I remember watching her delicately mix the red kum-kum powder with a little bit of water. And with precision, perfectionism, and patience, she would draw the most perfect circle bindi freehand. Freehand, like I still can't do that now. Hence why the bindi that I wear is like a little reusable sticker, but my nanny would always make sure that she gave me a little baby bindi too. But what I'm trying to say is, what keeps you grounded? And what brings you back to your inner self and your inner child? Honestly, I believe hindsight is the most beautiful thing. So now, looking back on reflection, I can see the connection between Indian dance, something that I adored and I still do, and wearing a bindi, something which made me feel as though I don't belong in the world, and where this fear was attached to my identity, all because of other people. And as I mentioned before, I had to translate and transform that energy into something positive and productive, and it has to be associated with work in order for me to bring my heart some peace. And I've learned it's okay to be confused, and it's so okay to feel as though you don't belong, even at your own table. Because as long as you feel a bubble of belonging in your heart, well, that's all that matters. I always finish my talks with my life's motto, which is simple. The world most definitely needs more smiles, more kindness, and more love. I work to bring this to life through the arts, but let us all strive to spread joy and compassion in our respective fields. Now, when thinking about the title for this talk, initially it was, "My Big Red Bindi is My Superpower." But then I realised that the super in superpower is here. It's within us because it's who we are. I then discovered the Hindi word Shakti, meaning strength, divine feminine energy, responsible for creation, and a word which feels as though it has so much more resonance and depth for me. The super is here. So let us all find our Shakti and the power of small magic, naturally creating our own superpower. We can then redirect our adversities and feelings of otherness into seeking higher things, then into achieving higher things. Because we don't just want to seek, we want to achieve. So, it started with a dot. Some called it a spot. Others called it a name which I won't repeat. But it was a bindi. A traditional red bindi, delicately placed in the centre of the forehead, in between the eyebrows, representing intuition, wisdom, and mindfulness in Indian culture, also known as the power of small magic and my secret Shakti. Thank you very, very much.